Hey, what up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you into the Week 11 San Francisco 49ers week going up against the Seattle Seahawks. Definitely this NFC West matchup doesn't have the really a feel to what this matchup meant last year. I keep thinking back to last year on Thanksgiving. The Niners came into that game. I think they had a losing record. I'm not 100% sure. But there was just a whole bunch of just feelings pumped into that season where it was like, if the Niners can beat the Seahawks on Thanksgiving, it's going to turn around. Definitely, I think that when the Niners lost that game to such a huge deficit, I think they lost 55-13. Whatever it was an ass kicking, and I had to bow down to little Alex Larson up there in Seattle, Washington, and tell him that his Seahawks were the best that day. And definitely from there, I'm sure the 49ers won something along the way for the end of the season, but the season was pretty much over for the 49ers. We had basically told the Seahawks that they were our daddy. We went back home and knew that some big changes were coming underway. The 49ers come into this year, they're a shell of what they were last year. Definitely, you could tell with Harbaugh being gone, and now especially coming into this game with Kaepernick not being the starting quarterback anymore. Frank Gore is now playing for Indianapolis. Carlos Hyde, his backup, who is now the starter in the backfield, who started out having a pretty good season, is now on the DL, out with another foot injury. I believe missing his third game in a row on a 4-week injury, including the bye week. And all I can say is that this is not going to be good. Here I am looking at ESPN.com, the matchup of the 49ers versus the Seahawks. They have it as 88% people picking the Seahawks to 11% picking the 49ers. I don't know what people are seeing by picking the 49ers to win this game, because honestly, I don't think we have a chance in hell. Definitely some people have thought that by starting Blaine Gabbert that the 49ers have turned it around. We played a good game against the Falcons, but this is the Seahawks. I mean, they still got Russell Wilson. They still got, a whole bunch of fighting power. Richard Sherman is probably licking his lips right now, thinking of pick sixes and just dreaming away, having a great game. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. He doesn't have as many touchdowns this season at 3 than he normally does. Jimmy Graham, who is the leading receiver of the Seahawks with almost 500 yards and 2 touchdowns, even though the fact that most people are complaining that the Seahawks don't even know how to use Jimmy Graham and aren't using him to his potential. I read an article earlier this week where basically the Seahawks were asked what they thought of Blaine Gabbert running the 49ers, if they were better, if they thought it was going to make any sort of changes to the Seahawks matchup against the 49ers. And they all said real nice things. Pete Carroll put over the fact that how fast the team ran, and it seemed that they were on a hiccup for a while, and now they're back on track, and this is going to be a good game. Maybe he's trying to sell tickets. Maybe he's trying to gain interest. Maybe he's just trying to psych his team up. Richard Sherman gave him props. Russell Wilson gave him props. I'll honestly tell you, I've said this once, I've said it before. Congratulations that the 49ers beat the Falcons last week. Blaine Gabbert got a win. Blaine Gabbert is not my quarterback. He's not my guy. I do believe that Colin Kaepernick will have the reins of this football team yet once again. I'm not going to say that I openly cheered when Blaine Gabbert went down last week, and he got he had to clear the cobwebs out of his head. And Kaepernick ran in to run the team for 3 plays, and then on a 3rd down play, the Niners called timeout and pulled Kaepernick and put Gabbert back in there. I was thinking that maybe that was going to be the start. Definitely, if Kaepernick would have been able to get something going, starting to drive down the field, it would have been harder to pull him out. But after a run play and an incomplete pass, you're not going to really win anybody over with this. But the biggest negatives that the Niners have going into this football game, is that Carlos Hyde is going to be out. They really have nobody in the backfield that's been able to step up and say, I'm going to run the ball. The Niners have not given up on the Jarrett Hayne experience, but he is on the practice squad and not on the big roster, so we're not going to be able to see him out there. They have big problems about thinking that he can't block the run, and then he might cost them a big quarterback hit. But the Niners, They're 2-3 of their last 5. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Ravens. The games that they've lost to the Rams and the Seahawks weren't close. The Giants game was close. They showed some heart in that one, but it was. Seahawks are coming in with a 2-3 record, losing to the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the Bengals, while they were able to beat the 49ers and beat the Cowboys. So we'll see what comes down to this one. The Seahawks are 2-2 at home. The Niners are 0-4 on the road. So I'm saying it's not going to be good. I didn't pick the Niners to win. I hope that I can see a little bit of this game, and if I can, I'll root them on. It's just Blaine Gabbert's not my guy.